I don't let nothing marinate. We get straight to the sauce. Everything saucy. I know it's been a while and I gotta tighten up and do more. I know I gotta do more. But it's just tuning into the sport of boxing. I just when I'm doing research, because I do research on other things in life. Plus I be writing my music. Gotta start going back into the booth, which I just put my booth back up. Gotta get a better engineer. Who can engineer better than me to start recording me. Well, I record myself, but to do the proper formats and turn it into song format. But besides that, like boxing, football, even the NBA. I don't know. I just had this feeling this year. I got a feeling, father and son going to win a championship. And I won't mind that shit. I won't mind. I won't mind see Bronny getting the chip with his father. It speaks volume because you see the NBA trying to go one way, and the Lakers got to get it, man. I don't give a fuck. The Lakers got to get the chip, and my Sixers is out of here, so the Lakers got to get the chip. But I'm always gonna be a Bulls fan. I don't give a fuck what anybody say. Jordan is Jordan. I'm always gonna be a Chicago Bulls fan. You know what I mean? I'm a Philadelphian. I'm just a Chicago Bulls fan. You got to get it like that. But besides that, we got to get the boxing, man, because we watching. Because I told y'all about Turkey. I told y'all Turkey came to boxing to ruin it. And I'm going to do a video of this. But I think Shakur Stevenson is going to be the first person to take $750,000 for during that TKO situation. But I don't think Oscar De La Hoya is going to go for that with William Zapeda. Y'all three. You're a champion now, so you're a prize fighter. So $5 to $6 million, that's your range. That's good. Nigga, you was making that with Top Rank. You should have still with Top Rank. But I understand y'all want to become pay-per-view stars, but you can't blame Bob for not creating pay-per-view stars because every time he created a pay-per-view star, y'all end up suing him. So why I'm going to create a pay-per-view star when y'all going to end up suing me? But this Benavidez Bivol situation is just, it ain't crazy to me, because I'm going to be real. They fought 2 times from Undisputed. And if I was Benavidez, I'd be like, listen, I don't want the belt right now. Let them do the trilogy, because that's why I said, when they invited Benavidez, I'm like, you know what they're going to do? They're going to rob Benavidez. Because listen, Bivol should have won the first fight, right? Or you could have labeled it a draw, and Benavidez should have won the second fight. You could have labeled it a draw, but y'all didn't. But by y'all inviting Benavidez to come, I'm going to get to my opinion on that. When y'all invited Benavidez to come, I'm like, yo, damn, y'all about to mess the trilogy up because y'all going to rob one of these fighters and y'all going to make it an even split. So it can be a trilogy. So make the trilogy happen. And if the trilogy happen in May, by September, Benavidez can fight the winner out of that. You understand me? Because this email champion shit is corny. Y'all calling people email champs instead of saying, oh, that fighter ducked that fighter. Yeah, that fighter ducked that fighter. That's why we getting email champs. This is not the Devin Haney era, the AKA, the email era, which is AKA the duck era. But everybody want to say, oh, you an email champ, you this and that. But nobody don't want to tell the truth and say, oh, the person that had the belt ducked him. That's why he became an email champ. And I watch people get mad at Boots because Boots said, yo, I just want to fight for a champion and win a belt. Because y'all, I don't want nothing given to me. All right, I earned the intern. I've been a title. I did title eliminators for so long. I've been niggas mandatories for so long. Like, for instance, Benavidez has been Canelo mandatory for 4 years. 4 years. Boots been Bud mandatory for 3 years. Then he been Spence mandatory for 2 years. From 2021 to 2023. Then, when Bud ended up beating Spence, Boots became Bud mandatory a second time. And soon when Bud seen that, he dropped the belt and moved to 154 and fought a bum-ass person nobody know. You understand me? When you could have defeated your undisputed status and became a mega star dealing with PBC, because PBC put you on your first pay-per-view, put you at a gate that you never seen this type of money before. And I know Turkey ain't giving you that shit because you earned it. You know what I mean? But Bivol ducked Benavidez. No, this the email era, man. The AKA the duck era, man. And it's just crazy how these people is getting these belts. You know, it's crazy how these people gotta get their belt. You know, and then Turkey coming in, well, you know who did good by you? Yeah, we know who did good, cause right by you saying that shows that you're a silent judge. So whatever the judges think, you got the last word to okay, and that's what I see. And please, y'all, I'm waiting on the phone call and the knock at the door because I had to drop my patients off. I mean, and they like take the car. I'm like, nah, because y'all might need it because I don't know how long I'm going to be here. You know what I mean? I gotta like I thought these people knew I had it. Now I mean I work. I gotta let them know, like, bro, I'm working right now. You know what I mean? But this shit is important to me, you know. So, I mean, I hope there won't be no cause of confusion because you know how people do. But then you got Keyshawn Davis, right? You offer Edwin De Los Santos 200,000, bro. And then you're gonna say he priced himself out asking for five. No, nigga, you were getting 5 million because you're a surprise fighter. He should be making $1 million, no more than $1.5 million. You understand me? But you know what Shakur told you. Y'all can't beat that ball, bro. That's why the next fight you gonna have is gonna be a nobody. That's why people like, oh, Berenchek was ass. The person, I got Tank in the Roach rematch, man. I got Tank, man. Cause look, Tank made Roach famous. You feel me, y'all? That like Tank made that nigga famous, right? All of that shit you doing with Tank, you should have did with Jamel Herring. You got Lamont Roach beat Jamel Herring. He beat Jamal Herring. Whatever his fucking name is, Jamal Herring. Like, Lamont beat him. But you ain't do none of the Devin Haney era shit to Jamal, right? But you do it to Tank Davis. When you keep talking about this knee, bro, you never hit him. You do the punch, it hit his glove. You know, because you heard what he said on Andre Ward shit. This is not the amateurs. No, it's called boxing rules. Yeah, he made him famous. But what this is, I'm saying, is just like, you going on all these platforms talking about this. When you watch the Jamel Herring fight and you watch Lamont Roach say, I beat Jamel Herring, they robbed me because I wasn't signed to nobody. You understand me? But now you signed the Pro Box, and who's over there at Pro Box? Paulie Malignaggi, right? The same nigga PBC fired for all of them racist comments. And then now Paulie want to shit on PBC people because, nigga, that's where you made your best money at. Those are the people that made you, nigga. Al Heyman, that nigga. Now I mean, but what Lamont was like, Lamont, you don't talk about the knockdown in the 11th round. You took a knee too, nigga. You took a knee too. Tank hit you, bam. You try to grab him. You try to grab Tank. He stepped back like this. When he stepped back like this, you took that knee too, and you heard the commentator say, "Oh, he if I can take a knee, if he can take a knee, I can take a knee." Why didn't you start counting, nigga? Because you took a knee. You want to run around, it ain't nothing wrong. But bro, if anybody beat Tank, Pitbull Cruz beat Tank. I got Tank gonna knock him right the fuck out. Tank gonna knock him right the fuck out. Pitbull Cruz, Lamont Roach, you ain't do what Pitbull Cruz did. Everything you thought you did in the 9th round, Pitbull Cruz did that shit from the 1st to the 12th. Go watch. I want y'all to watch the Lamont and Tank fight. Then go watch the Pitbull and Tank fight. And tell me who did a better job. Because Pitbull will knock Lamont Roach the fuck out. I promise y'all. Now I mean? But one thing I kept telling people, I said, I said Tank and Lamont, they gonna do some WWE shit. Why? Because everybody right now that's saying, hey, Yoda, watch this shit. Everybody right now, remember, when Tank and Lamont got announced, oh, Lamont too small. Tank always fighting small people, but Lamont is the champion. Lamont is taller than Tank. He's bigger than Tank. But remember, everybody kept saying, nah, y'all, Tank ain't had one hand in that motherfucking Pitbull fight. That's bullshit. That's bull. Because at the end of the fight, I want you to hear it. He didn't say his hand. He said his shoulder. But that's the Floyd Mayweather effect. Every time a fighter put on a bad performance, they want to say their hands fucked up, which is bullshit. Because throughout the whole month, 3, 4, 6 months of training, y'all never mention nothing about that motherfucking hand. So I don't be going for that. No, Pitbull put the pressure on that man. You understand me? You seen Tevin Farmer versus William Zapeda. We watched Shakur, we watched Tank. They never show no type of agony and pain when he hurted their hand. We watched Floyd did it. We watched Tev did it. I watched Andre Ward did it. I watched Timothy Bradley. I watched a couple people when they put their shit there. They never did that. Pitbull put the pressure on Tank. But the point I want to get with this is that, and I say that I think these motherfuckers finessed us, is because everybody kept saying, oh, Tank ain't fighting nobody. He fighting a smaller guy in a smaller weight class. Shakur Stevenson, all of them niggas said it, right? Then all of a sudden, Tank was like, listen, we gonna go the distance. I'm gonna turn you into a multi-superstar. I'm gonna give you some shit nobody never did. And he did it, right? He did it. Now everybody that denied Roach and Tank saying it's not a good fight, they small, this and that. Now when Roach come in and he do good, and they made sure that shit happened. Now, oh, he lost, he this, he that. Nah, nigga, you got to take it from the champ. When Lamont Roach fought Jamel Herring, he took that shit from Jamel Herring. Oh, you ain't do nothing to Tank, bro. You ain't do nothing to Tank. And I'm just keeping that shit tall all around the board. Because I don't be, like I said, I don't be understanding people, man. I don't be understanding people who like, because it's too many fanboys, man. You got lame boys, you got fanboys, then you got, I want to see that. If he fight Jair Herrera, that's a fight. That's a fight. That's a fight. You know? But that's what I'm saying with this Keyshawn shit. Like, the Edwin de los Santos was a good fight, but why? Like why you offering low ball shit and saying people duck? People gotta stop that, man. People getting too greedy for money. You need a dance partner. So any real dance partner they see as a threat, they're gonna always trying to lowball them and give them a low offer, and that's corny. Like Jair Herrera. You know what I mean? He might be making 75, close to 200,000 a fight right now. You know, you know, I ain't got him fighting him. I got him fight. It's gonna be a bum ass nigga. Watch. It's gonna be a fucking bum. It's gonna be a bum. You know, his next fight should be Abdullah Mason. You know, Abdullah Mason got the intern belt. You know, Abdullah Mason is your mandatory. You know, he's number one for the WBO and IBF. You know, he's number one. Abdullah Mason, number one. You think Lomachenko or Keyshawn gonna fight Abdullah Mason? They're not gonna fight their mandatory. They're gonna go probably fight a person that's not even ranked. You know? It's like, I don't know, man. This shit just crazy. And it's just like with Shakur Stevenson, man. Bro, like the William Zapeda shit, like, don't take no pennies, bro. Don't take no pennies. Don't take no pennies. I don't give a fuck. If I was Shakur, I wouldn't take no pennies. Like, that man promised you something, that's what it gotta be. I'm not taking no pennies. But I thought, I'm gonna be real, I thought Edwin, but I knew that shit was fake when they said Edwin de los Santos and Frank Martin was fighting. Because I'm like, damn, Frank Martin moving to 140. He ain't fighting at 135. That's why I knew that. I would have loved to see that fight, but I knew that shit was bullshit. I knew that shit was bullshit. I would love to see Shakur rematch Edwin de los Santos. You know, because he got to show us, like, bro, he got to show us that he can sit in the pocket, he can catch and shoot, he can smother shots. You know, he can slip real good. He can roll, not just with sparring partners, like with real opponents. You know what I mean? With real dance partners that's in the ring, and that's what I feel. Me personally, I would like to see. I would like to see if Shakur can't give us that fight, you know, Floyd Schofield is all right. William Zapeda, Floyd Schofield, Abdullah Mason. All right, this how I'm gonna break it down. William Zapeda is ranked number 1 in the WBC, WBO, WBA, IBF. He's ranked number 1. Number 2, since Keyshawn became the champ for the WBO, Keyshawn is still ranked through the other. I mean, he's number 2. But Floyd Schofield is number 2 or number 3. It depends if Keyshawn took himself out of that rankings just to have just for the WBO. But people always got to remember the WBO is the top ranked belt. Don't believe me? Go from 2010 all the way up and watch the first belt every top ranked fighter win. It's going to be the WBO belt. And after that, they end up with the WBA. You know, the WBC, they just got belts everywhere. You know, they know how to trick bitches. You know what I mean? So they got holes everywhere. But William Zapeda or Floyd Schofield should be Shakur or Keyshawn Davis' next opponent. Why? Because they number 1 and number 2. They're number 1 and number 2. Fight the number 1 and number 2s. And the number 3 is Abdullah Mason. So you got your 2, number 1, number 2, number 3. William Zapeda, number 1. Floyd Schofield, number 2. Abdullah Mason, number 3. Those the fights Shakur or Keyshawn should be fighting next. But I bet you they won't fight none of them niggas. I bet y'all they won't fight none of them niggas. No, I look at it. Like, people be like, business move. This is why fuck the Mandela effect. Shout out to Nelson Mandela, rest in peace, dog. PIP. But this the Mayweather effect. And the Mayweather effect is, oh, he's not ready right now. What you mean he's not ready right now? That nigga is ranked number 1, 2, and 3. How the fuck he not ready right now? Oh, he only ready and it makes sense when he get a loss. You understand me? It's like, for instance, we should have been got Tank and Loma 3-4 years ago. You understand me? Now, not when Loma get his loss. You feel me? Because I felt as though Tank would have knocked Loma out. Now, I mean, T.O. exposed Loma. Now, I mean, Tank would have knocked him out. People, I watched Devin Haney versus Loma. The first 6-7 rounds, really 5 to 6 rounds, Devin won clearly with that jab. Once he disbanded his jab for a little bit, like a couple minutes in each round, Loma did the Pacquiao. 1 minute 30 seconds or 1 minute left into the round, he had sporadic spurts, whoa, throw shit. But so he was catching, he was hitting Dev, and some he wasn't. But I always thought Dev won that fight, you know. But I tell people, when you gotta take it from the champ, is you gotta go in there. If you can't knock him out, you gotta knock him down. You take him from him, you know, and you making it a clear path. Like when T.O. fought Loma, he dropped Loma. He took it from him. So you see clearly, like, oh, he took that shit from him. Well, you know, you tell other people, it just be crazy. Other people say some other crazy shit. And another thing, right? Damn, who the fuck I just seen? Diego Pacheco and Christian and Billy were supposed to fight. Diego Pacheco, I'm gonna keep it real with you. You done fucked up. You chose Trevor McCumbee. At 168, Trevor McCumbee is the hardest puncher in that motherfucker. I'm trying to tell you, that motherfucker punched so hard, they think he on PEDs. And because they caught steroids in him before, you gotta remember, that was Vada. Vada always bringing some crazy shit up. Yeah, I believe so. I believe him. But Andy Cruz or Edwin gonna take that shit from Zapeda. I'm gonna be real. I would like to see the Tevin Farmer trilogy. Tev earned that shit. Tev exposed him 2 times. He dropped him the first time. Second time, he beat him with one hand. And was hurting him with the hand he fucked up. Nah, man. Yo, that's my nephew, man. That's my nephew-in-law. You understand? He about to get married to my niece. You know what I mean? I don't really like talking, but that's the fact. You know what I mean? But I think I would love to see that trilogy this year. It gotta be a trilogy. It gotta be because Tev exposed him both fights. And in the second fight, you know, both fights should have been a draw. You never should have gave the victory towards William Zapeda. You know, but like I say, man, you know, when you're an independent contractor going into certain promotional companies fighting a person that signed to a promotional company, you're not going to get the victory. You know, and that's why I talk about Lamont Roach. Like, when you fought Jamel Herring, like, you won that fight, but you ain't walk out with the victory. And you even said you won that fight. But now that you got signed to Pro Box, you know, you won 12, but y'all niggas practice. You understand me? That's why I say that nigga was in DC so much. You know what I mean? Because them niggas, they was sparring with each other. They practice. I'm putting this shit out there. I don't give a fuck if it's a conspiracy theory, because a conspiracy is the actual crime and a theory is the true story. That's the real definition of a conspiracy and the definition of theory. I think these two motherfuckers, they went in the ring, they sparred each other, and they mapped this shit out. You know what I mean? They mapped this shit out. This is how I feel. And why I say that, because why would you go to the person's backyard to train when you right up the block and you could have trained with Coach Cal and none of your business would have been presented out there? And the way y'all both talk to each other, you know what I mean? Like, it's too friendly, bro. It's too friendly. You throwing a nigga to ooh. All we just seen was the trilogy of an amateur fight. You know what I mean? That's all we really seen. You know what I mean? And like I tell people, man, like, this ain't no disrespect, but I think, you know, in this one, the rematch with Tank and Lamont, you know, Tank gonna get him out of here. Tank gonna get him out of here. You know, he back home. Coach Cal doing his thing. I'm gonna repost that. You know, they about to do some good things. You know? So, I don't know, man. But boxing is crazy. Then you got Turki fucking up boxing, stopping fights that shouldn't be stopped. Like Turki, by you saying that corny stuff, is informing people that, you know, you really rigging fights. You know? You really rigging fights. But I'm gonna get back to the Diego Pacheco situation. Yeah, he did that shit. Yeah, Bud did that shit. Yeah, he did that shit. Yeah, he did that shit. Yeah, Keyshawn did that. He doing they taking a Bud playbook. You know what I mean? That's why if I was them, they resume gonna be shitty in their ass. Cause Keyshawn, out of all, like even Shakur though, but Keyshawn out of all of them, you know, I like him. I like him a lot. You know, he got the dog in me. You know, but and he did 10 million. And he did 10,000 at the gate. He did 1 million at the gate. You know, so. But you just seen what Tank did at the gate. Tank and them niggas, they did 6.4 million at the gate. You know what I mean? And by me seeing that, I'm looking at Boots fight at Wells Fargo's the first day he did $1 million in 24 hours. So, you know, the first fight when he's supposed to fight Cody Crowley and end up being amnesia, it was over 17,000 people in that motherfucker. That's why I say Boots is the biggest star than Bud. You know what I mean? He's a way bigger star than Bud, you know? And he's fighting tougher competition. I watch people like Cameron beat everybody at 147 besides Jerron Boots Henderson. I mark my words. Cameron beat all the motherfuckers. That's number one. Number two, everybody putting pressure on a 154 division because they want Boots out of there just to let these other corny niggas eat. He gonna go up to 154. Who's there? Who's there? Y'all gonna say, oh, Virgil not a champion. Who's there? Who's there? Only nigga there is the king of 154. Twin Charlo. The king of 154, Twin Charlo. You know what I mean? And then you watch other fighters, other people talking about the wrong Charlo. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, yeah, at the Wells Fargo, yeah, after, because he grossed it. That's what I'm saying with the bullshit. This before the Wells Fargo. After everything, he grossed at 3.9. It came down to 3.3, 3.2 million. And that was with the 10,000 tickets. You feel me? I'm talking about after that 24 hours, like when I came home and I purchased tickets and when we got there, that shit was over 17,000. So if taking them, but it do count by your ticket prices. So if taking them made 6.4 million at the Barclays, with over 16,000 people, right? 6.4 million, but it's always the ticket price. What you think Boots did? What fight bigger than for Boots bigger than Bud versus Virgil? Boots and Keith Thurman. Boots and Keith Thurman. Uh, Boots and Tim Zoo. Cause Virgil not like that, man. Virgil not like that. But one thing I can respect about Virgil is I can respect about Robert Garcia is when Virgil fought Bowen Chuck, cause they sparring partners. Everything Virgil fought Magimov. These niggas is all sparring partners. So when I watch a nigga fight sparring partners, I be like, yo, this should be like it's too WWE. But make a like I said, Boots versus Keith Thurman, Boots versus Spence, even Boots versus Charles Conwell. Boots versus Sean Conwell be what? That should be different. That joint be different. Them boys fight. You know what I mean? That should be different. But I love to see it. I love to see it. Let me turn these young motherfuckers off real fast so I can finish this. I love to see it. I definitely love to see it. But Keyshawn Duck and Edwin De Los Santos is crazy, man. And I just hope Shakur Stevenson don't take that $750,000. Like, bro, don't lowball yourself. If a motherfucker promised you something, fight that shit. Yeah, Boots versus Thurman is a bigger fight than Bud versus Virgil. Because Virgil don't sell tickets. Bud don't sell tickets. This is what people got to understand. When you don't sell tickets, see, Bud Crawford, in Omaha, he was selling. Then they had to give out free tickets. I want y'all to pay attention because all of this shit is still documented. You can go 5 years, you can go on YouTube Time Machine 5-6 years back, and the conversations is there. Virgil Ortiz had an event in Texas, his hometown, that held 7,000 people. You understand me? He couldn't even get 3,000 motherfuckers in that venue. Not a star. Boots' first homecoming. Look what he did. And fuck the homecoming. The nigga headlined a fight in Vegas. He headlined a fight in Cali. When Cameron Duncan was alive. And he sold that shit out. Over there. Then came over here to Atlantic City. Sold that shit out. With the Villa fight. Sold that bitch out. Came here to Philly. Sold that bitch out 2 times. Now going back to Atlantic City, that shit sold out again. That's a bigger fight. People look at Virgil name. People gotta understand. A commentator can make a person name. A commentator can make a person name. Yeah, Boots sell way more than Bud in Vegas. Bud don't have fights in Vegas. Bud do not have fights in Vegas. When he fought Spence in Vegas, that was Spence shit. Spence was the pay-per-view star. Bud don't sell fights in Vegas. You can look at Bud track record in Vegas. He don't sell. That's why they moved to Omaha. Because he was selling in Omaha, but they was giving out free tickets. You know what I mean? Bud first gate, he did over like 10,000 the first time. And all his second times, he was doing like 6,000, 5,000. They was giving out tickets. Just like they did the Keyshawn shit. Just like they did the Shakur shit. That's what Top Rank do. And they tell you that. Bob Arum tell you. You gotta listen to the promoter. When Bud was with Top Rank, before 2018, when he re-signed with them on some bitch shit and could have went the PBC route and got all of the fights he wanted, he knew what he did. Boots sell way more than all you gotta do. Go look who had more main event fights in Vegas. Boots sold more than him. That's why I always say Boots is the biggest star. Boots sold more than a nigga. Know what I mean? You seen when Bud went to college, that nigga had a soccer field. Which Turki was wrong for doing that. Like, bro, the nigga can't sell. He don't sell tickets. The nigga don't sell tickets. So how the fuck you trying to... Then you bring Eminem in it, then you giving out free tickets. This August 3rd of last year, I'm watching this shit. I'm like, yo, this shit crazy. This shit crazy. It's crazy, man. But I would love. No, I don't know, man. It's just I would love like Bud should have fought Boots. That's all I seen. When Cameron Duncan was alive, Bud should have fought Boots. But Bud no, like niggas know, niggas know, niggas know. No, it's too many butt buddies in this shit. Know what I mean? Oh, that's my brother. I will never fight him. Or I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But you contradict yourself and go fight a person named Madrimov. Nobody don't know. You don't. But the key thing, he got 300 amateur fights. Bro, every amateur got over fucking 100, 200 amateur fights, nigga. They ain't an amateur. So when you fighting from 8 years old to 19 years old and you turn pro 19, you done had over 500 fucking fights. But the amateur fights don't mean shit to a pro fight. Because when you turn pro, what happens? Your amateur record don't carry on with you. So when you turn pro, that's when everything makes sense. But the key thing is, see, when I was growing up in the 80s, 90s, it was mandatory. You fought your mandatory. It was, all right, you fighting, you become a prospect, you become a contender. Once you become a contender, you're going to fight the top 10 niggas until you get to the number one, and whoever the champion, that's who you're going to fight. Once you become a champion, you become a pay-per-view star. That's how it used to be. Now it ain't none of that shit no more. It ain't none of that shit no more. Why? Because once Floyd got that PBC deal, once PBC got that deal from Showtime and Floyd got that 150 fucking million, that shit changed the landscape of boxing. It changed everything. It changed everything. You know? Boots got power. Boots got power. Listen, Boots' resume, his last 10 opponents is better than all the Bud opponents. But you gotta understand is, I like the spin shit niggas use the car accidents. Me, I don't use that, because when he got into his first car accident, he beat Dan. He got into the second one, beat this nigga. You know what I mean? But besides, take the Spence out the way, even though he was damaged goods, everybody else, bro, you ain't fight nobody. You fought a Sean Porter that was out of the ring for 455 days. And he was retired. He just came back in and gave you a sparring session. And you ain't even hurt the nigga. Besides that, Mean Machine dropped you. You felt. They ain't even count that as a knockdown because they know they beat you. You understand me? Bud know the truth. I don't want to put it out there, but Bud know. Bud know what Boots did to him. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. They don't want to talk about it. I'm going to put it out there. Bud know what's up. Bud know what's up. Bud been there. Bud got in the ring with him before. Bud know what's up. And at a younger age. Bud know what's up. Bud not like that, y'all. I'm telling y'all, he not like that, man. You know what I mean? See, what y'all got to question is, this the same nigga, right? That said Manny Pacquiao on steroids, right? But this is the same nigga, Bud Crawford, that's working with the same nigga Manny Pacquiao was messing with, Victor Conte. The same nigga Pacquiao was working with was Victor Conte. That's why Floyd always said, oh, Pacquiao on steroids. Why? Because Victor Conte was known for steroids. Victor Conte went to jail for steroids. This not no allegedly shit. This is facts. Look at the Bolical situation. This is facts. Victor Conte came on air and said, I can get it in your system and out your system faster than the FDA, the CDC, even any fucking doctor can detect it. Victor Conte stated that. Victor Conte stated that. And this is no alleged. This is not no for entertainment purposes only. That word came out that motherfucking man's mouth. And when he did his time, he came home. What did he do? He helped create VADA testing. He's part of VADA testing, y'all. He got it off the ground. Once he got it off the ground, he give you snap. Now I want y'all to go back and you can go to shout out to Manager Marty. You can go on Manager Marty page right now when he interviewed Victor Conte, and Victor Conte states out his own motherfucking mouth that the snack supplement that me, Orthodox TV, anybody right now, if we call snack and order snack, that supplement that we get, the fighters do not take that shit. That's what he stated. And when he say, oh, I don't give them that supplement, what I do is I draw their blood. Victor, you're not a fucking doctor, so why is you drawing their blood? That's number one. You're not a doctor. Why is you drawing their blood? And then when you get their blood, you want to give them some shit that's going to enhance their stamina, enhance their performance is called a PED. Anything that enhance your performance. That's why you got all this training for. And every time you train, you connect your body to an IV. What is you hiding? But Bud Crawford, you went on Joe Rogan and said that. Every time I train, I spar. When I'm done training or I get out of fight, I hook myself up to an IV. Don't believe me? Go watch Joe Rogan and Bud Crawford interview. Then you're going to hear Bud say, yeah, Mayweather used to do the same thing. No, Mayweather didn't, because Mayweather ain't fuck with Victor Conte, nigga. Mayweather did not fuck with Victor Conte. You mean Manny Pacquiao used to do that shit, nigga, because we saw Manny Pacquiao to an IV. Like, y'all, like, this shit just be crazy, man. And just for him to say, bro, you working with a well-known cheater, it's the steroid king. You're working with the steroid king. No, Bud Crawford said Floyd used IVs inside the Joe Rogan podcast. Floyd never used an IV. No, when you go to the hospital and your hands hurt and you dehydrated, they hook you up to an IV. But I'm talking about after every training session, after every fight, you plug yourself up to an IV. What? It's not because you're dehydrated, nigga. You're flushing your system. You're flushing your system. No, you're flushing your system. IV, any pill, any steroid, even if you snorting coke, you bagging up coke, you snorting heroin, probably fentanyl, everything else, it flushes your system. Except for weed, they don't flush weed. They don't flush weed at all. They don't flush weed at all, but that's what it do. And that's why I tell people, like, really do your history on these niggas be messing with, man. Know what I mean? When niggas look at Memo Harari, that what you call it is fucking with Benavidez fuck with. He's known for steroids too. No, every time Floyd used the IV was because his hands hurt. You seen him. He had hot right in the hospital, get in the ambulance. Like the end of his Top Rank era, when Jay Prince was managing him in Top Rank, and then Al Heyman started managing him, if I'm not mistaken, it was like 2005, 2007, when Floyd signed over to Golden Boy. Al Heyman became his manager, and Oscar was his advisor. And Oscar turned Floyd Mayweather into a pay-per-view star. You know, after every fight, you used to see, he used to come out, talk, he used to come out, he'd hop right in the ambulance, and they used to hook the IV up to him because his hands was hurt. That's why I tell people about rehydration, right? Every body sanction, every state has a rehydration clause, and every body sanction has a rehydration clause. The IBF rehydration clause is 10%. Boxing in general is 15%. I think it's one state, if I'm not mistaken, California is at 21%. You know, I'm gonna use this for an example. When Devin Haney fought Regis Prograis, Devin Haney was over the weight limit. You know what I mean? So Regis Prograis can go to the California State Athletic Commission and get that fight overturned. Why? Because Devin Haney came in the fight at 140. So you only supposed to bulk up, if I'm not mistaken. It was like to 158 pounds. This nigga came in over 165, close to 170 in that fight. You know what I mean? But the WBC, if I'm not mistaken, got like a 12%, 15. It's between 12-15%. I know the IBF is 10. And but Floyd shit, it just was his hands. Every fight he went to the hospital. Pretty Boy went because of his hands. You know, Bud Crawford. You never been around Floyd to now. Floyd pop up in y'all gym, and you know, just because he hate Tank, because Tank left him and he can't make the millions of dollars he used to make. You know what I mean? Why Tank was signed to Mayweather Promotions. You know, and Al Heyman just end up becoming Tank advisor and push Floyd to the side. Like, bro, like, you doing him dirty. You know what I mean? You making $10 million, this guy making $10 million to fight, and you only giving him a couple thousand, bro? Like, that's fucked up. You know what I mean? That's real fucked up. You know? But like I'm saying, I'm gonna get back to Bud's situation. When you look at it, at 140, Bud's resume was ass. 135, his resume was ass. Y'all, you become undisputed, but you won't fight nobody, bro. You ain't fight nobody. And when you was on them lower weight classes, you wasn't knocking nobody out. Then all of a sudden, you get the Victor Conte. And then from there, as soon as you turn to welterweight, you knocking everybody out. But if you take the Spence fight away from Porter all the way down before you fought bum-ass Jeff Horn when they robbed Pacquiao out of that Jeff Horn fight and gave the belt to Jeff Horn because they didn't want Pacquiao to whoop your ass. Soon you come to welterweight, you dealing with Victor Conte, that's number one. Then number two, all of your gloves bust open. Bust them open, bud. Your gloves bust open. I know what goes on, nigga. You gotta remember. Bro, I seen it all. I watched niggas' gloves bust open. I watched niggas put plaster in their gloves. I watched niggas take the horsehair out their gloves. That's why a lot of niggas get the horsehair gloves, because, I mean, you can, what you call it? You can fuck up the patent in it, know what I mean? And control. You can't knock a bum-ass Usyk out. A person that can't take no body shots. No, that's why I tell people, yo, like, we gotta tighten up on this shit, man. We gotta tighten up on this shit. But I just want people to go do their research. All you gotta do is go do your research, man. You know? Because if it was like that, every fighter would be hooked up to an IV after their fight. You would have seen Ryan Garcia say he was he had a rehydration clause. You would have seen him got plugged straight up to an IV right after his fight, but he didn't. You only get plugged up to an IV if you hot or something. That's all I gotta say. And you work with Victor Conte, so that shit crazy. But yeah, man, Bivol dug Benavidez. But if I was Benavidez, I just would have waited to the trilogy and got the winner out of that, because, you know, they're gonna make Bivol win again because of how they playing Bitterby. Keyshawn, Edwin De Los Santos is the biggest star to you. I'm gonna keep it real. You know, you just with Top Rank, you got a belt, but everybody know who Edwin De Los Santos is. You know, your brother ran from you. Lamont Roach, you took a knee in the 11th. You know, talk about that. Talk about you taking a knee in the 11th round. You know? And then we got Shakur Stevenson, William Zapeda. Shakur willing to take a pay cut, which he should have took the pay cut to fight Dev. I mean, it would have been a bigger fight, more money. That's all I gotta say, man. That's all I gotta say, man. Until then, hopefully we see these people next opponents. We're gonna see Keyshawn next opponent. Diego Pacheco, you should have fought Christian Mbili instead of McCumbee. McCumbee gonna knock you out. McCumbee punched too hard. I hear Danny Garcia about to get back in the ring. Tune in, man. Tune in. I'll be back later. You know, we're gonna tune in and get it done. $1 $3.